Good evening, everyone. If you'll stand with me tonight, we want to begin this evening's orientation with a word of prayer. The word of the Lord tells us everything we do in word or deed, do it all in the name of Jesus. And we are a Christian school, and we take pride in that. And we want to ask the Lord to bless us during this time period. Will you help me pray? Lord Jesus, we thank you today. We thank you, Lord, for your unfailing kindness and your love. We know, Lord, that we are always able to come to you even in these difficult times and find the assurance that we need and the love that we need in our lives today. We are asking, Lord, that you would move into this place, that you would bless us, and that all that we do tonight, Lord, would please you. In the name of Jesus, we pray. Amen. Thank you. You may be seated. For those of you who may not know, I'll take a few moments here just to introduce myself. My name is John Hopkins. I'm the pastor of this church and the president of the school. And Sister Carly Justice is the principal of our school. How many of you, this is your first year with us? If you wouldn't mind, raise your hand. Good, we have several. We are currently, as a school and as a church, well, I would say as a country, we're facing very difficult times in regards to trying our very best to secure a good education for our children, and at the same time, try our very best to keep our children safe, keep our families safe. And one of the things that we truly believe about our curriculum, the ACE curriculum, is that it does tend to give itself to flexibility. And that is something that we're very thankful for. This ability to be flexible in our curriculum allows us to feel much more confident as we tackle this coming year. That being said, none of us know what tomorrow brings. Even the word of the Lord tells us that. We have plans, we have protocols, procedures. We're going to go through all of those details with you tonight. But we just want you to know that we want to do what's best for our staff, our faculty, for your children, for your families. Please, if you want to speak with us or you have a concern, voice those. Let us know. We are more than willing to do the best we can to accommodate anything that you might be feeling or concerned with. We have a plan, but I've been doing this now as a pastor specifically for 6 months with a congregation, and everyone has a plan until something goes wrong, and that's just kind of how it always works. So we have a plan. We have several plans, and I think they're good plans, and they are rooted in a lot of experience that we've gained from as a church and through trial and error, even with our congregation. But that being said, I think that the theme, if I had to put a theme for this school year, it would be that we all need to be adaptable. Amen. We just have to learn to adapt, whether you had your kids in school somewhere else. When they closed all the schools, you started homeschooling, and I'm sure that was a challenge. This whole thing has caused us to rethink, to adapt. But we just want you to know that we are going to do everything to ensure that your children are in a good environment, a healthy environment, and that they get a good education. So once again, my name is Pastor Hopkins. If you have any questions for me afterwards or anything, or Sister Carly, please let us know. Sister Carly, would you come at this time?
Good evening. Thank you guys for coming. First, I want to say, if you are social distance from somebody else or on a row that is just your family or whatever, take your masks off so you guys can breathe. If you guys want to move so that you are social distance enough so that you can take your mask off so you can breathe, feel free, because those are very difficult to have on for a long period of time. We were even practicing, all of the teachers, which kind of mask we wanted to wear during school. You guys would have gotten Good laughs. We have decided on those plastic shields because we can actually breathe, but we all look pretty comical in wearing them. Okay, before we get started tonight, I wanted to do two things. The first thing is I want the parents to give themselves a pat on the back for completing last year with your kids. You deserve it. So pat yourself on the back, parents. Whether you were with our school or not, you made it through the last school year. However hectic it was with us or with another school, you guys made it. So good job, parents. I also want to thank our dedicated staff for helping through the time last year that was ever changing. Every time a decision came, these ladies here were very flexible and going with the flow, and me telling them, okay, we've got to come up with something else. They've given us this rule to abide by. We need to do that. And they did an excellent job. So Mrs. Stephen and Mrs. Bates, would you guys please stand and let's give them a round of applause. Thank you. And we have lots of new families that we are very excited for you guys to join our JCA family this year. We also have two new additions to our staff. Miss Kelsey, if you could wave your hand, please. She is going to be a new teacher in the classroom with us, and she is awesome on the computer, has helped with my slideshow here tonight. And Miss Samantha over there, who is back there, she is going to be doing after school care. One thing I want to say is both ladies that we have here are JCA alumni, so they have graduated from here. Miss Kelsey has gone on to Bible college and then decided she wanted to come back with us. Miss Samantha has just recently graduated with us and has decided she's going to go to college here and wanted to start working here with us. So we are very excited to have them on our team. Okay, getting into tonight, I will try to be as fast as possible. There are so many protocols and rules and decisions that we need to go over, so I will try to be as fast as possible with you guys tonight. Okay, for the focus on the year, I agree with what Pastor Hopkins said about being adaptable. I think one other word that needs to be added to that is positive. If the parents have a positive attitude towards the school year, your kids, hopefully, cross your fingers, will have a positive attitude towards the school year. I started the summer off with a little bit of dread, let's just be honest, okay? Because I was thinking about what are we going to do? How are we going to come up with ways to make sure that all of your children are safe? The Lord got a hold of me and said, I needed to change my outlook on it. I needed to be positive so that everybody else could be positive. I'm excited about the school year now that we've come up with a plan. Numerous plans, as Pastor Hopkins was saying. Hopefully we'll make this school year great. So let's stay positive. Proverbs 17:22 states, a merry heart doeth good like a medicine, but a broken spirit drieth the bones. So let's all try to keep a merry heart this year. Okay, so as we've already stated, encourage positive attitudes. Teachers and parents both getting excited about the school year amidst all the changes will create a conduit of positivity for the students. So as you go home and you're talking to your student tonight and in the days upcoming for school, please keep a positive attitude and remember all of these decisions that we have made, all of the protocols, all of the extra rules. Many prayers, many discussions have gone into this year's preparation. We have spoken with Pastor Hopkins, who has already gone through this as a church, dealing with members who have COVID and what do you do when it happens. So we've gotten a little bit of help from him to make decisions. Every decision that we are going to talk about tonight, every rule, every protocol, the basis of that is for your children, to keep your children safe and healthy, and to keep my teachers safe and healthy. So please remember that as we go through the guidelines. Some things I realize that we will have to be flexible on this year because of the COVID circumstances. But the rules and the protocols regarding the health and safety of our kids are ones we are going to stick to. And if we all work together, we will have a great year. Okay, as you guys have already filled out, multiple options have been given to you guys for your students to learn to accommodate as many people and choices as possible. For the hybrid schedule, if parents chose the option of their students working from home, adequate work needs to happen. So last year, the students were forced to work from home, and unfortunately, that was the only option. As we are going through the guidelines and you guys have chosen your option for your students, the option is for them to work at home, to be a complete distance learner, or to be a hybrid student working 2 days or 3 days at home and 2 days at school. If your child is not completing adequate work at home, they will be required to come into school. So parents, please help us out with that. Everybody was handed a paper at the door. Please make sure that by the time you leave, you're ready to hand that paper back to Miss Stephanie and Miss Samantha to turn that in so we are ready to go for the first day of school. Distance learning. One of the options is distance learning. I will be the main contact for the distance learning. So the distance learning are the students who are coming to school 2 days and working from home 2 days, or those students, which I'm not sure, I see one parent here, that are completely doing distance learning. I am the main contact for the distance learning. So if those parents who have students on those options, I am going to be your contact. Listed on the screen is my Skype address. Skype will be open and available. So Skype hours will be from 10 to 12 and 1 to 3, Monday through Thursday. So Monday through Thursday, if your child is in one of the distance learning options, that is my Skype name. My Skype will be up from those times. You may schedule an appointment with me if you know your child needs help or assistance, or otherwise it's first come, first serve. So my account is going to be open. I'll be in front of my computer. You guys are welcome to just call in, but if I have another appointment, the other appointment will be the first taken, and I'll finish that one and then call you guys back. For the full distance learners, they still have to come in for testing. So last year, when we completed the year, we did testing at home. We feel as a school that it works better that the testing is just done at the school. So for complete distance learners, gives you the schedule up on the screen, Monday through Thursday, 3:45 to 5, or Friday, 9 to 1, will be testing times. So you may call 24 hours in advance or prior the day previous to call and schedule your appointment for testing. Full-time distance learners. So these are ones who the parents have chosen for your child to work at home every day for the first quarter. Your child needs to have a weekly check-in appointment with me. I would prefer that the parent be there for the weekly check-in, but they don't have to be there. So please mark that down if your child is a full distance learner. And distance learning is different from homeschool, and we'll go over that. My homeschool students. Testing will work the same as the distance learners. The time will be the same for the homeschool students. Monday through Thursday, 3:45 to 5, and Friday, 9 to 1. We are starting to make appointments for the homeschool students and the full distance learners to pick up your books so your child will be ready by the first day of school. So on your way out, if you want to stop, Mrs. Bates will be there, and you can make an appointment on Friday to come pick up your books so your child will be ready. For the homeschool students and the full distance learners, please bring your mask to testing. Okay, now on to the regulars. School, yes. Right. Yes, ma'am. I'll talk to you about that when we get done, and we will make accommodations, and we'll talk about where you're going to be testing. One of the reasons that we decided on Friday testing is because there are no students in the classroom. But we can talk to you and make accommodations for whatever is needed. Right. Right. So then Friday, and we can talk about this afterwards, you and I together, but Friday then would be your time because there are not going to be multiple students in there. Okay, school hours, Monday through Thursday, 8:30 to 3:30. Drop off, just like we did last year, 7:45 to 8:25. Student dismissal, 3:30 to 3:45. And this year, I should hear some parents clap. We are having after-school care. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Rutherford. Okay, drop-off procedures. Now the fun starts. Parents and students for drop-off must remain in your car. Parents are encouraged to be in the line by 8:15. So what we are going to be doing is you as the parent and your student will remain in the car. Myself or Mrs. Stephen will approach the car to do a symptom check and a temperature check. Just like happens when you go to the doctor, we'll be doing those same things. We'll be checking your child's temperature and checking for any symptoms. We are going by all of the CDC guidelines. I cannot tell you how many guidelines I have read through over the week, and then Pastor Hopkins and I have talked about specific guidelines. There are so many. So many. But that's what we will be going by. So if your student is symptom and fever free by the CDC guidelines, I think it said 100.4, is that correct? Okay, so by the CDC guidelines, 100.4 is considered a fever. So anything below that is not considered a fever. Any of the symptoms, you guys are welcome to get on the website if you guys are unsure, or we can go over them. But for your child to be able to get out of the car and attend school, they will need to be symptom and fever free. One of the things that the staff and I were talking about is our children, and I know that some of your children too have severe allergies. Okay? I see lots of head shaking. Mrs. Bates and I have already joked around that our children will be sent home. The symptoms from the CDC guideline include even allergy symptoms. So even talking to a doctor, I went to a doctor's appointment for something unrelated. I just asked, and she said, yes, we've seen COVID patients that have had allergy symptoms. They thought they had something, and they had COVID. I'm not going to get into that, but so just be prepared. Parents who have children with allergies, just be prepared. Okay, so please try to be in the car line by 8:15. We will try to make this as fast as possible. I know that as parents, this holds you guys up a little bit to get to work, but just remember that your child's safety is what we have in mind. So this is something that is going to be different. If you are late, we are not taking late students for the first quarter. Okay? This is just so that we can abide by and go by the guidelines and the check-ins and make sure everybody is getting checked in correctly and properly, and limiting the amount of exposure to different staff members, because we do have staff here that are in the high-risk category. So there will not be any late check-ins. So if you are after 8:25 and you pull in, your child will not be admitted to school, and they will be counted absent, and that will be considered a day to do distance learning. Okay, on to the next one. As we've already talked about, there are challenges that come with this, but if we work together, it will go great. Okay, normal absentee policy, not to exceed 5 days during a 45-day grading period. Parent will be notified after the 4th absence, and if you end up with absence number 4, then you get a meeting with me, and we'll just go over the reason for the absences. And then to go over deterrents to continue them from happening. But let's try to be careful with the absences. We are working with the COVID fund this year. Attendance is very important, very, very important in a normal situation. But if your child is only attending school 2 days, those 2 days are super important for them to get what they need to be able to progress and stay academic. If your child is absent for any reason, they are always responsible for their missed goals. After school care, I mentioned, will be from 3:45 to 5. Something new that will be, you get to book and prepay your days for after school care on the school website. So if you guys have not visited our new website, and I know that with some of the new parents, there has been some confusion with the old website popping up instead of the new website. The new website is posted on there. It has all of the after school care information posted on there. The next screenshot, which is probably a little bit hard for you guys to see, is exactly what it looks like on the website. There will be spaces for where you need to click. There will be tabs. If you go under the admission tab on the website, you guys as parents will select one of the following passes. There will be a daily pass, two part-time passes, and a full-time pass. And the more days you book for, the cheaper the rate goes for after school care. If you guys have any questions when you get home and you get on the website and you go to pay and you're still confused, feel free to call and we'll walk you through it. Okay, now I'm just going to be going over the daily procedures that we are going to be doing during school that are different this year than they were last year. First one is we will be doing a midday student symptom check. So sometime during the day, we will be checking all of the students again, making sure that they are fever-free and symptom-free. If any child displays any symptoms during the day, they will be sent home. We do ask that you have given us 3 contact numbers. I know as parents, and especially working parents, we stay very busy. So during the day, if your child ends up with some sort of symptom and needs to be sent home, sometimes just giving us 1 contact number for a parent pickup is not enough because you as the parent might be busy. So you may even write them down on the sheet that you're going to turn back in to us on your way out the door, making sure that we have 3 contact numbers if your child is going to be attending school. If your child is getting sent home, we will give you a call and they will need to be picked up within the hour. I understand with parents working that sometimes that might be a problem. We'll deal with that on a case-to-case basis. The reason for the 1-hour time limit is to try to make sure that they are not affecting any other children. So they will kind of be put off in a separate space where they will be sitting by themselves in front of the front desk, not around any other children while they're waiting for pickup. So please make sure that you turn in 3 emergency numbers for people who can pick up your child. Okay, once again, going with the CDC guidelines, the students sent home with mild symptoms may return after 24 hours of symptom-free with no fever-reducing medication. And when you pick up your child when they are getting sent home, you will be given a questionnaire, a COVID questionnaire, pretty much like the one you fill out at the doctor, stating that whether you've been around somebody with COVID or you've come in contact with anybody. That will need to be filled out before you leave because that will be dependent on how many days you stay out per the CDC guidelines. And then that will be dependent on how many days you need to self-quarantine. Okay, continuing on with daily procedures. This is definitely different than last year. All of the child's lunch boxes will remain with them. So we are not going to be refrigerating them. We don't want them to come in contact with another child's things. So all of your child's stuff will be kept right at their desk in their own spot. So lunch boxes will obviously need ice packs, and we will not be using the microwaves, just to continue with the safety. The other thing is the water fountain will be shut off. Just make sure that we do not have multiple children touching the same thing. Sometimes the little mouths make it to touch the actual water fountain and not just the water. So we want to decrease that as much as possible. So please send your child with a reusable water bottle that will be refilled. In the classroom, as the teachers, will have availability to water that we can refill your child's water bottle at any time during the day. But they need to have a refillable water bottle. Yes. Yes, spill proof, please. So the teachers will refill the water bottle as many times as possible, but the water fountains will be shut off. We are placing sanitizing stations all over the classroom. There are numerous places where there is a bottle of hand sanitizer, and we have also purchased some standing hand sanitizers where all the child has to do is stick their hand underneath the machine. They don't have to touch anything, and they can get hand sanitizer. The biggest thing that I have drilled into the teacher's brain of what we're going to do this year is wash their hands, wash their hands, wash their hands. So you can continue that at home with your children, reminding them to wash their hands, because they will be washing their hands and sanitizing multiple times during the day. Okay, all desks, tables, and seating areas have been placed 6 feet apart. In Mrs. Stevens' classroom, for the younger children, the 1st through 3rd graders, her tables are spaced 6 feet apart, but will also have plastic partitions and dividers, just like the desks in the classroom, to ensure that they are social distanced properly. All of the testing tables will also have that plastic divider. The other thing that is not on the list that also will have a plastic divider is the front counter. Mrs. Coleman, our secretary, is in one of those high-risk categories, but she wants to and is willing to come continue to work. But we are going to do our best to keep her safe and healthy also. Okay, continuing, restrooms. Normally, we don't send a whole group of children to the restroom at one time. That just doesn't end up great if we do that. So we'll be making sure that small groups will be sent to the restroom. The girls' bathroom is large enough where we can send 2 children at one time and then be properly social distance, with a teacher watching to make sure that that happens. Social distancing in the classroom, when they line up, there will be stickers on the floor to remind them of how far apart they should stand. The kids are probably going to be very disappointed about this next one, but all communal supplies and toys have been removed from the classroom. So my younger students, that's probably going to be quite disappointing to them, but all of that has been removed from the classroom to ensure that your kids stay safe and healthy. The classrooms and the bathrooms will be sanitized daily, and things that are touched multiple times during the day by multiple students or teachers will be sanitized throughout the day. So we are going to be doing our due diligence for keeping things clean. One thing that I know you guys parents have asked me, are they required to wear a mask? We are not requiring anybody to wear a mask. I am just going to encourage you guys as parents to encourage your students to wear a mask. Now, we have talked about a couple different things. We have a student who has severe asthma. A teacher asked me today if we were going to make the students, while they were playing outside, wear a mask. I thought about this younger student wanting to go play outside with other students who has severe asthma and then having to wear a mask. And all I thought was, I don't want the student to pass out. So we are not going to require them to wear a mask. If they are coming in close contact with someone, so if they are part of our students with learning disabilities and they are a part of the group where the teacher comes in from the public school and they do one-on-one or group teaching, they will be required to wear a mask for that. If they are getting one-on-one help from a teacher, we encourage the students to wear a mask because they will be in closer contact with the teacher, but they are not required. We would also like the children that are coming up to test to also encourage to wear a mask. Sister Coleman, Mrs. Coleman, will be the one who will be your contact for all the communication regarding the virus. I know that not everything is black and white regarding this virus, and things change daily. So if you guys have questions, feel free to just call the school office, and Mrs. Coleman will either answer your question directly or take down your information so that we can get back to you regarding your question. Another not so fun thing, but we're going to focus on the positive. Field trips, sports, and all group activities have been canceled for the first quarter. Something I forgot to go over when we were talking about the options. As of right now, the options that you guys chose for your child on paper are only going through the first quarter. But what you have chosen will be the one that your student sticks with all the way through the first quarter. We're just going to have to go with the flow, be flexible, and then we will let you guys know in enough time to plan ahead whether we are going to be doing it for the second quarter or not. We are hoping too, there is a slight possibility that sports will continue in January. Instead of being done in the fall, they will be done in the spring. So that is a possibility that is on the table. Okay, normal communications. Help keep school exciting by recognizing your child's achievements. Even the older kids, and this is a big joke around the classrooms that we joke around with the older kids, they say that they don't like to be recognized and they don't like to get up in front of people, but they do like parents to make a big deal about things, even if they're older in high school. They do. So we send home congratulations slips once a week. Those are recognizing your child's good grades on their tests. A lot of new parents have asked me about the Merit store up front in that glass box. We give out Merit money for your children, and they can buy things from the Merit store. We take donations for those. We are also in looking for a big ticket item for the older kids. The older kids like bigger ticket items that cost more money. So if you guys have any ideas or want to donate anything, we have had parents and grandparents in the past that have donated, and we have been very appreciative of that. ACE privileges are privileges that will be earned in the classroom. Spirit days, so far, we do not have on the calendar. I am hoping that by January, we will be able to schedule Spirit days. And those are, the students get to wear a different kind of t-shirt, which they get really excited about because it's not a normal school uniform t-shirt. And we do things dressing up like Bible characters. Sometimes I'll just tell them that it's a random Spirit day, and they just get to wear their different shirt, and they get excited because it's not the normal polo shirt. Birthdays we have celebrated in the past also, where I have had parents who have volunteered to bake or bring in cupcakes for the month, for the children's birthdays, whoever's birthday occurred in that month. As of right now, we are not giving out any food to the children, so we are not doing that. But hopefully by January, we will be able to continue that. This past year, one thing that we missed out on was our end of the year award ceremony. My kids, who have been here since kindergarten, I was really surprised. Even my older one, who is going into 7th grade, was actually disappointed about the award ceremony. We don't just do a graduation for the seniors, but we also do an award ceremony. All of the children get involved with it, and each child receives some sort of award. We had also planned for the first time, a barbecue end of the year bash for the last day of school that we did not get to do. I am praying and hoping that we will get to add that to our calendar so that we can have some fun, at least towards the end of the year. Okay, we're getting closer. Student planners. Every student will be required to have a planner. That is something we give them on the first day of school. I've even discussed that with my new parents. All of the daily goals and homework will be recorded in that planner. For my students who are doing the hybrid schedule, that means they're coming to school 2 days and working at home the other days. Their work, exactly what they will be required to do at home, will be recorded on that day in the planner. So you guys as parents and as grandparents can support us and make it so much easier for us if at the end of the day that they are working at home, you have them pull out all of their books, you have them pull out their planner, and you and them both go page by page by page from the planner, making sure that their homework is completed. Every child, I can tell you, and my returning parents can attest, that their child has said, my homework is done, and it wasn't completed. And I have returning parents that are smiling right now. So my first-time parents here with JCA, no matter what, your child at some point will probably try to say my homework is completed and it isn't. So help us out, and we will help you guys out, checking their homework, checking page by page. If you ever have a question about what's written in the planner, you can feel free to call us and we can go over it with you. In the planner, a parent signature is required for that day. So once again, my hybrid schedule parents, the ones working from home 2 days and the ones working at school, even on those days that they're working at home, please make sure you sign your signature for every day that they've worked at home with you. That shows us that you've checked their homework, they've shown their homework to you as the parent, and you've said, yes, it's completed. Goes over any communication, goes in the planner. So if you need something from us, the best and easiest way to do it, if it's not an immediate thing, is to write it in their planner, and we will write a note back to you. Merits and demerits will also be recorded in there, and any uniform violations are recorded in there. So parents, if you check that planner when your child comes home from school, you will know what happened that day at school. Okay, incomplete homework policies. Hopefully we will not have any of these. Okay, verbal warning for the very first time between the student and the teacher. So the very first time that your child comes in and their homework is not completed, we like to deal with the child themselves first, give them a little bit of self-responsibility, and talk to them as the teacher and the student. Then the second time you will be notified as a parent that your child did not do their homework. Oh, I skipped the first offense, sorry. First offense, the student will receive a demerit and loss of classroom privileges. You will be notified on the first offense, but previous to that, the child gets a verbal warning. Second offense, you as the parent will be notified. On the third offense, if your child does not have their homework completed, they cannot come into the classroom. And you will have to make an appointment with me so we can go over what's going on and how we can assist your child in completing their homework. We do that, and the reason why we do this is because every goal that your child has set every day needs to be completed for them to progress academically. So if they are absent, we require those missed goals. Same thing, that if they do not do their homework one day, that's a daily goal that they've missed that now will need to be made up for them to stay academic and stay on track. After the third offense, then you will need to check in your child for a 3-week probationary period. And pretty much that means you'll just have to stay in the drop-off line until your child's homework is checked. Okay, testing procedures, checkups. As my returning parents, we have gone back and forth about this over the years, and we wanted to try to stay and stick with what we've done. But because we have students learning at home and learning at school, we have to be a little flexible. So checkups may be completed at home or at school. For our new parents, in the past, the checkups have only been able to be completed at home if they have been signed and stapled while the child has been at school. We understand that for the students that are working at home, we don't want to hold them up in their work. So the only time the checkup will need to be signed and stapled is if the student is here at school doing their checkup. Self-tests. must be completed at school. So those also apply to the hybrid learners, the ones who are coming to school 2 days and then learning at home 2 days. The self-tests need to be completed at school. They require an 80 or above to progress. If your child makes less than an 80 on that day for homework, they will need to take notes, and then they will retake the self-test the next day. If they pass the self-test with an 80 or above on the second retake, then they can take the test the following day. That is just to ensure success that your child passes their test. If they make a below an 80 on their second self-test, then they will have to repeat the book and relearn what they missed. PACE tests. This is just going over just to ensure that you guys know that it's a little bit different than the way we ended school last year. All students will take their PACE book home to study the day prior to their test. In their planner, you will see study for PT, and that means PACE test. So you as a parent will know when you need to help your child study for their PACE test. No self-tests will be sent home for study purposes. The student is encouraged to study from the checkups and the notes that they have taken. And then different from the way we ended last year, all of the PACE tests will be taken here at school. Okay, note-taking procedure. This is something we introduced a couple of years ago so that we could get our children prepared for college. On your school supply list, 5 spiral notebooks are required. Extra credit opportunities if completed prior to the self-test and approved. So your child is allowed to take notes and encouraged to take notes previous to taking their self-test and their PACE test. Their notes may include writing out their checkups in their book, teaching strips, any rules that they have learned during the book, all incorrect questions from the book, and vocabulary. That is just some helpful hints to help them take notes. And 1 point for each page of notes, up to 5 points, will be added onto their test grade. So extra credit purposes for all ages. I think even the younger kids, even 2nd and 3rd grade level, should get used to writing notes. Even if it's not a whole page, even if they've got to skip a couple lines, I think it's a good procedure for them to get used to and get in the habit of. Vocabulary, student will need to say all words and definition, or they have the option of writing the words in the definition instead of reciting them from memory. Scoring protocols for the classroom. This will be a little bit different than previous years just to ensure social distancing. The older students will score one at a time. We have a sanitizing station set up right next to the score tables. We will have 2 containers of pens, so they're not touching dirty pens. The pens will be sanitized before another student comes up. The students must utilize the sanitation station before and after they score. So they will need to put on hand sanitizer before they score, and then when they get done, they'll need to use it again. And then the teachers are going to score all of the younger children's work for them. So that will help out the younger children, but will also ensure that no germs are getting passed through the score keys with the younger children. Okay. Couple more things, important information. Please make sure that your child has adequate supplies. We do have extra supplies on hand, but there won't be any group supplies. No visitors are allowed in the classroom. We do not encourage leaving early. No checkouts after 3 p.m. So if your child has a doctor's appointment and needs to be checked out early, you'll need to call the school prior to the appointment or prior to pickup time, or write a note in your child's planner letting us know that your child needs to be picked up early, and we will have your child ready to go. Otherwise, from 3 to 3:30, we do not allow pickup time. That is dismissal time for our students and teachers, and that we are getting your child ready to go, making sure their homework is recorded, making sure your child has all of their stuff and all of their supplies. So that's why we do not allow checkouts after that time. Lunch, we are not allowing visitors, at least through the first quarter, for lunch, just to ensure safety and social distancing with our children. I already went over the no microwaves. Make sure your child, if they need something cold, that you put in ice packs. And then our students in the lunchroom will be sitting 6 feet apart unless they are with a family member. So we have gotten in there with a tape measure and made sure that everybody is 6 feet apart unless there's a family member, and then they will be sitting at the table together. Okay, just a couple of other things. Scholarship checks need to be signed in a timely manner. If you have a child that's on scholarship, we will notify you when the checks need to be signed. Students and parents who attend official school activities, which we don't really have any extra school activities on the calendar right now, but during or after school hours must follow our school dress code. Cell phones are not permitted in school. Parents, please help us out with that and make sure that your child does not have their cell phone on them when they are coming to school. We do allow driving students to have their cell phones with them. They just have to turn them into the front office when they come to school. And we are shooting for a great school year. And as I have already said, if we are working together, you guys as the parents and us as the staff, your child will have a great year this year. On our last slide is all of my information that you will need to get a hold of me. My cell phone is on there if you need anything. My email is on there. Mrs. Bates' information is also on there. Please, I only ask to avoid and refrain from texting me. It is so hard to have a complete conversation. I am old school. It is so hard to have a conversation through a text message. I want to make sure that what you need, I am fully understanding, and through a text message that sometimes doesn't always come through loud and clear. So I would prefer that you email me. This year for my returning parents, will be checking my email every day, I promise. I'm going to do better about that. But you can also call me and I will return any phone calls. And that is it. I appreciate you guys coming. If you have any supplies that you want in the classroom that you have brought here tonight, you're welcome to leave them right here, and we will take them into the classroom. Any further questions, you guys can stop me and we can have a discussion tonight, or you're welcome to email me or give me a call. I appreciate the time that you guys have given to this. I know it was a little long and I tried to be fast, and we look forward to the first day of school and seeing all of your children's faces. Thank you.